Good afternoon. We will get started in about 1 minute, but to those who are just joining, just a few notes here. I want to say that the webinar will be recorded and sent to participants. So if you want to reference this after or send it along to your colleagues, you'll be able to do that. We ask that you just please mute yourself when you join to minimize any background noise. And if you could submit your questions through the chat box, that would be great. We will address your questions at the end, and we'll send out a Q&A document with any questions that with all the questions and any that we're not able to get to on the webinar. Again, thanks for being here, and we'll get started in just 1 minute or two.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Sam. Whoop, I can't hear. Let's see.
Hi, Donna. How are you? Did you hear me?
Okay, let's try it again.
Hi, Donna.
Hi. Okay, now I can hear.
Hi, Donna.
Great.
Hi. You got the link, huh, Sam?
I do. Yes, thank you.
Good. You're welcome.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Pamela. I don't see you, but I recognize your voice.
Thank you. That's okay. No video today.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get us started here. And I'm going to mute everyone just for the, so there's no background noise, but you can unmute yourself if you'd like during the presentation, or if it's easier, just submit your questions through the chat box, and we'll get to those at the end. Let's go ahead and kick it off. So thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. We're very excited to kick off and launch Connect2Work. It's been a program that's been in the works for really a few years, as the village has been studying and looking into the different commuter challenges that people are facing. But before we jump into the agenda, I just want to hand it over to Mayor Brady, who has been supporting this initiative since day one and really brought this to Bedford Park, and has been working closely with Cook County and the RTA to make this happen. So before we jump in, Mayor Brady, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you if you'd like to make some remarks.
Yeah, we appreciate the efforts of the Clearing Industrial Association and publicizing the program. Antero Group has been just super for us to work with on it. It's scoped out. It started originally with ideas of ride sharing with the hotels and then the workers, and but now the program's ready to go. When we realized that we had employees that were walking 2 miles to work, there was some issues. So we look forward to implementing the program. We think it's going to help to bring more qualified workers to Bedford Park, although we certainly have a qualified workforce now. Joe Ronofsky on our part, on the village's part, has worked with Antero Group on getting this going. And we greatly appreciate too the efforts of the county to help pay for some of the implementation and certainly the study. And it's a great program, and we think it's kind of a win-win for everyone.
Great, thank you, Mayor. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So the agenda for today is pretty simple. First, we want to start with just an overview of what is Connect2Work, what is this program, and what are the challenges that we're trying to address. And Then we'll jump into a more detailed discussion about the different components of the program and how it works. There are opportunities for Bedford Park employees to take discounted Uber rides, either whether they're connecting in from the area surrounding Bedford Park or from a nearby transit station. So we want to clarify the steps that you'll need to take to sign up for those benefits. And there's also a free shuttle. So we have representatives from our partners who will give a step-by-step instructions on how to use the different mobility services that are available. And then at the end, we'll leave plenty of time open for questions and answers. Okay, so Connect2Work is a one-year mobility pilot program that was officially launched right at the end of December of 2020. So now we're officially in our launch phase and we're ready to ramp up and get as many people enrolled in the program as possible. The program was identified through the Village's last mile mobility planning efforts. Many of you on the call were involved in these previous efforts in which we looked at some of the challenges like limited transit that could get you into the Bedford Park industrial area, or limited options during late night hours. And as the mayor mentioned, this made it difficult for a lot of people to get into Bedford Park, especially for those who don't have access to a car. So the purpose of this program is to make it easier for people to commute to Bedford Park and to expand the availability of a workforce for Bedford Park's employers. We hope to test different solutions and see what works and figure out what we could scale up moving forward. So the funders of the program include the Village, Cook County, and the RTA, and we thank all three for your leadership in funding of this program. And I think this is a really innovative program that's going to produce a lot of lessons learned that are not just valuable to the Bedford Park community, but to other areas across the region. And to implement this program, the Village has partnered with Uber, Via, Move It, Antero Group, and the Shared Use Mobility Center. So in terms of the program goals, we're looking at a few mobility and economic and really learning goals, but to summarize for the group, we really want to improve workers' access to and Bedford Park. We want to address some of those last mile commuting challenges that we identified, whether that was long distances from train stations to their end destination, limited availability of transit, or just long walks, especially as now we're in the winter season. We want to make that last mile commute easier for people. We also want to expand access to public transit and shared mobility services. So a lot of these mobility programs, specifically the Uber last mile subsidy, is really intended to help people connect from, say, the CTA Midway station into Bedford Park. So there's a subsidy that's available for people to make that last mile connection. And then ultimately, we want to identify ways to improve and expand upon this program, and also identify funding so we can operate this moving forward beyond that one-year pilot phase. So how exactly does it work? So Connect2Work is a new app that combines different transit options to make your Bedford Park commute as easy as possible. So if you go to the App Store, you'll see the Connect2Work app, which can be used to plan your trip, but you'll also see options to connect to the free shuttle and discounted Uber rides. So it's really a kind of a Swiss Army knife of planning your trip here. And we want to specifically highlight that in order to access the discounted Uber rides, that riders will need to sign up through connect2work.us. Now, when you download the Connect2Work app and say you want to order the free shuttle, you will link out to a separate app for the Connect2Work free shuttle. And you know, as a pilot, we're still trying to figure things out and see how to make this experience as streamlined and easy for people as possible. So again, we just want to emphasize that this is a pilot program. Part of this is to make this experience as easy as possible for riders. So I'm going to hand it off at this point to Ryan from Move It, and he's going to explain it in a little more detail how to use the Connect2Work app.
Thank you, Curtis. Hey, everybody. So as Curtis said, this is Ryan with Move It. Just in case you are not familiar with Move It, we are an Intel company. We're a global company. We are a mobility as a service company, and we have the leading #1 urban mobility application. So we are powering this on the Connect2Work app. And I want to just take you through the full steps of downloading the app, becoming a member of Connect2Work, and everything that it entails. Next slide, please. Thank you. So first step, of course, is having the app on your phone. You can simply go to either Apple Store or Google Play. As you can see here, typing in Connect2Work with no spaces. You will notice there are 2 applications with the same name. Both are actually vital to this particular project. But first step would be to actually get the Connect2Work Get Anywhere in Bedford Park application. You download that. It is, of course, free of charge, and then we can begin. So next slide, please. From here, once you have the application in your phone, you will notice a few different things. The home page is basically your stations tab. Favorites, I would recommend putting in your home address as well as your work address to make ordering rides obviously easier for yourself on a day-to-day basis. And then underneath, you see a taxi and ride hailing options for both Uber and the free shuttle. Now, I'm going to go into that in just a bit, but I do want to point out really, really crucially is the More menu. On the top right, you notice that it's a red square around it, which is where you want to go when you initially download the application. So click on that More menu, and then you'll see the next page coming up. So on this More menu, you'll see several different options. I think all are important. Notification center, agency alerts, offline maps for local Chicago transit in case you're underground or don't have service. You can rate us. We would definitely love to hear your feedback. Settings option, but the most important, again, circled in red, is the sign up for the Connect2Work service. So you click on that once you download the application, and then it brings you to this page, the sign up page. This is definitely important. Some pretty basic information here. So your first name, your last name, your employer, your phone number. The email is crucial. Make sure it is, if you do already have an Uber account, make sure it's linked, the one linked to your Uber account. Definitely put in languages spoken. And then last but not least, I would definitely select on different ways to subscribe. So free shuttle, last mile rides, late night rides. You can click 1, 2, or all 3, whichever ones you think you'll be utilizing in this program. You click those, you press sign up, and the first of 3 emails comes. So first, you're going to get the Bedford Park email, just confirming that you're actually part of the program, right? So that's going to be crucial. You don't have to do anything. There's no action on this particular email, but make sure you have received it. So now you are part of the Connect2Work family. In addition, you'll receive these 2 emails. First, the free shuttle, which is powered by VIA, and VIA will be speaking next about that particular program, or part of this program, excuse me. And you'll also receive an Uber email. And this, on the Uber email, there is a slight action, just verifying your email address, so you can be part of the program. But now you're basically good to go. You've gotten all 3 emails, and you can start booking rides on the application. I do want to point out for the Uber, it's a discounted ride. And then for the shuttle, as you can see here, clearly labeled, it is free, which is nice. So a few must-haves when booking the ride. Now you notice this is back to the homepage in your original Connect2Work application. So you must have an Uber account. So if you're going to set it up, make sure you set it up from scratch. If you already have an Uber account, feel free to utilize an email that is linked to it, as we discussed. You must also download the additional Connect2Work free shuttle application, which again, you'll find by simply putting in Connect2Work with no spaces, but sign up for an account there as well. And you must have both of these applications on your phone, the one that you're going to be ordering off of on the daily basis. Please note that when you click on the under the taxi and ride hailing, right, whether you click on Uber for the discounted ride or you click on the free shuttle order, it's going to then bring you back into the native application. So it'll take you out of the Connect2Work application for a moment, bring you into either Uber or the free shuttle app, which is where you would actually order the ride, put in your origin and your destination. And if it was Uber and there has to be an actual transaction or a payment, you would do it all through those native applications. But basically, this Connect2Work app is the engine that runs it all on the back end. So that is important, but I also want to really quick note on this slide. This is the last one here. But not only can you order these discounted rides, which is really kind of the main purpose for this Bedford Park program, I also want to note that the Connect2Work application powered by Move It is a journey planner. So if you want to just get around Chicago in general, maybe you aren't going directly to Bedford Park, maybe you're going somewhere after Bedford Park or before Bedford Park, you're able to see the lines tab, which of course will give you bus, rail, and the Chicago L, and all of the different lines and schedules there, as well as directions. So it's a full journey planner. It'll give you the static schedules as well as real-time schedules. So when the next bus, train, or L are coming. If you want to start favoriting lines, favoriting routes, you can do that. All the tap of a button makes your life easier to get around, not only Bedford Park, as I said, but also the Chicago metro area. And that's it for me. So thank you all for your time.
Great, thank you very much, Ryan. And now we're going to hand it off to Annabelle from VIA, who's going to explain the Connect2Work free shuttle app in a little more detail.
Thanks, Curtis. Hi, everyone. I'm Annabelle, and I'm from VIA. Thank you all for joining today. And for those of you who are not familiar, we're an on-demand public mobility company. So VIA works with different transit agencies, cities, universities, as well as corporations throughout the United States and abroad in hundreds of locations to really help build efficient transit networks. Of course, this service is built specifically for Bedford Park, and the goal of the free shuttle is to get employees to and from their places of work in an efficient, free, and convenient way. Next slide, please. There are 3 very simple steps to get access to the free shuttle. The first is you can download the Connect2Work free shuttle app in the Apple App Store or Google Play. From there, you follow the simple sign up steps and enter your location and destination. And once you've done that, you can actually follow along to see where your ride is and then walk a couple steps to meet your driver and get on your free ride. Next slide, please. This is the service zone. These are the areas where employees are going to be able to go to and from, and they're able to get their free ride Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. as well as 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So it's pretty simple. This is how your employees can get a free ride. And that's it.
Great, thank you. I'm going to go through the discounted Uber rides. So this, for employees to access this, there's a few steps that they need to go through. As Ryan mentioned earlier, you need to sign up through connect2work.us. At that point, people are going to enter in the basic information of first name, last name, email, phone number, and employer. And what this does is allows us to add any employee from any Bedford Park business to the Bedford Park's Uber for Business account. So once people sign up, they will receive an email from Uber confirming that they have been enrolled in Bedford Park's discount program. And in that email, it will explain the next steps. And what they will need to do is to sign into their existing or sign into the Uber app with their existing credentials. Or if they are new to Uber, they would need to download the app and create a new personal account. Then at the bottom, when you're ready to book a trip, and once you have signed up for the Bedford Park profile, you'll see this toggle. And then when you slide this to Bedford Park, you will notice when you see your trip, you'll see the discount apply. And the discount is 50% off of riders' trips up to an amount of $7. Okay, and so then you'll just meet your driver where you place the pin and take your Uber trip the way you normally would. Now, you might see a notice here like exceeds spend allowance. And what this is showing is that the total amount of the trip exceeds the $7 subsidy. So any amount above and beyond that would be billed to the rider. And the service area for the last mile Uber discount is the same as the Via Shuttle, or the Connect2Work free shuttle. And this service is available from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And for late night, it's available from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. And for the late night service, the service area is actually anywhere in Cook County. So someone can book a trip, say, coming from Bronzeville into Bedford Park and back, but the subsidy is still capped at that $7 amount. Okay, so that was a pretty quick run through of the different options. And again, we want to leave plenty of time for questions. So feel free to either chime in and just unmute yourself and ask a question verbally, or to submit it through the chat function.
This is Sam Eckstein. I have a question. Do you have any printed material that we can distribute to companies that have employees for their review?
Yes, we do. We have printed materials and flyers that are translated into Spanish and Polish. So if you could actually, Sam, I have your email from this morning, so we can send you those materials.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll download them and print them and distribute them.
Great. Okay, so looks like we have a few questions submitted through the chat. So Stacy, can you send out this presentation via email? Yes, we will send this presentation to everyone who registered for the webinar. Yep, it looks like Nancy had the same question. When does the pilot program begin and how long does it last until? So the pilot program is operational. It launched December 28th. So you can start booking these rides today. And it will go at least until December of 2021. Now, the goal is to identify funding to continue operating this program into 2022 and hopefully beyond. But right now it's guaranteed through the entire year. Okay. So we'll include, so Denise, I see your note regarding flyers. So I'll add my email here. And if you could just send me a note that, and anyone who's interested in getting print materials, just go ahead and email me at my Antero group email that I've just put in the chat boxes.
Curtis, this is Donna.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, do you have the electronic version that you could send to this presentation that you did today that I can send to members that are not on this call?
Absolutely, yes. So Donna, I will email you this presentation afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, does the employer have to register in the program, and is there an application for the process? So employers don't need to register. It's really the end user, so the employees are the ones that would need to register to get the discounted Uber rides. And when you go to connect2work.us and you fill out that form, you'll see the option for all three, the last mile, late night, and free shuttle. You could select one or all three of those. But when you select a free shuttle, that just allows us to send that email to where they can download the app. But for Uber, that registration is critical for us to enter the rider into the program. And is there an application for the process? So that's That's essentially it. Just that sign up would essentially be the application or the registration for employees. Are there certain spots the shuttle picks up employees? So Annabelle, I'll turn this question over to you. It's not quite door to door, but it's close to it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not quite door to door in that it's not going to pick them up directly where their pickup spot is, but where makes the most sense as far as, safety and walking distance. So it's going to be like a couple 100 feet or a few steps. And they'll have directions in the app as well of where they should be picked up and dropped off.
So in case the service area is creating any confusion, those points on the map are just references. It's not like those are the only locations where the shuttle is going. At most, riders will just need to walk a block or so to get to a pickup point. Okay, so we have a question regarding Pace Bus 307. So why did the 307 bus route change last year? It used to go to the terminal at 63rd and South Archer Road. So I'm not able to answer that question, but I do know we have some PACE representatives on the call. I'm not sure if you're able to chime in and address this.
Yes, this is Adam Eichenberger from PACE. How are you?
Good.
You can hear me?
Yes, we could hear you. Thanks, Adam.
Okay, how you doing? So we extended the service down to the Bridgeview Transit Center, as this corridor is going to be a pulse corridor at some point. And the Bridgeview Transit Center is a great location for our buses to lay over and turn around at that point for the 307 service. Also on the 63rd segment, we shared that corridor with CTA. And so it was, not a good way to, provide more service between the Bridgeview Transit Center in Harlem and 63rd.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. What is the process to deactivate an employee that has been separated from the employer? Good question. In that case, we would request that you email us the name of the employee when they are terminated or separated. So this is something we may need to think through here. But when they register for the account, they are indicating their employer. So we have that information, but we just ask that you would email us when they are separated so we can remove them from the Uber for Business profile for Uber. Okay. Looks like everyone wants the materials. So we'll share the full presentation along with any other notes to everyone. So we'll just include this presentation in the follow-up email to participants. Okay, will there be signs or posts where to wait for the shuttle similar to regular CTA and pay stops? So the shuttle is on demand. So really it's very similar to an Uber trip in that it will pick you up close to where you order the ride. So there aren't marked signs or posts for where the shuttle will pick you up, which hopefully makes for an easier trip because you'll just see on the app where you would need to go. But it's almost point to point with just a short walk. Okay, so do we have statistics about the number of people using or who have been using or will be using Connect2Work? So we are tracking metrics for this program so we can evaluate its its performance and figure out, you know, if this is something the village would like to support moving forward. And in terms of ridership, we had, let's see, we have several hundred people already signed up. And within the first week, which was between Christmas and New Year's, we had, I think, close to 60 total trips booked between the two different services, the free shuttle and the discounted Uber rides. So people are already starting to find out about the service and take trips. And it's our hope that we continue to drive ridership growth through outreach like this. And we're also happy to come out to your individual business and do a socially distant and COVID safe pop-up event, or to hand out flyers or distribute flyers to everyone. So we're happy with how the program has launched, and we hope to continue to increase ridership. Okay. If someone has feedback, is there a way to provide it, such as it would be nice if you served X location? So feedback on the overall program can be sent to info@connect2work.us, and that email is included in the Connect2Work app. Now, if you have app issues and you select rate us or send feedback, that will be sent specifically to Move It and Via. So any app related issues will be sent to those companies, but general feedback about the program can be sent to the Connect2Work or info@connect2work.us. Okay, will temp agencies be able to set up accounts for our temps, or is this something that companies do? So I don't know if the person who submitted this question can clarify. Or... Ultimately, it would have to be the end users who sign up. Now, we can send a spreadsheet where you can submit the name, email, and phone number of your temp employees, but we'd have to enter them individually. So I don't know if that answers your questions, but at the end of the day, we would just need to get the individual users to sign up through connect2work.us.
And then Curtis, I'd also just like to add as well that anyone can sign up for the free shuttle. So there's no application process or anything like that. So as long as they download the Connect2Work free shuttle, they should be able to sign up pretty easily.
Great, thank you, Annabelle. Okay, so the note about separated employees is something that we need to look into in more detail. Again, it's the point of the pilot program is to figure out issues like this and find a solution. So that is a great point, and we will be thinking through how to ensure that if they aren't an employee of Bedford Park, that they don't get the benefits that are designed for Bedford Park employees. Okay, does the apps map, let's see, just quick time check. Okay, we're good. Does the apps map integrate real-time information about buses in the area when, yes. So that's a great function of the app, is that you can plan your trip, and let's say you want to take the orange line from Little Village to Midway and then connect to the free shuttle or an Uber ride. The Connect2Work app can be used for that, the whole trip that you're planning. And it's actually we partnered with Move It specifically because they have one of the most powerful trip planning features out there on the market. So, okay. How is the shuttle identified? What should we inform users what to look for? So the shuttles have a Connect2Work. They should have a Connect2Work sticker on them, but they will look similar to. Well, I guess Annabelle, can you address this too in terms of identifying features for the free shuttle vehicles?
Yeah, for sure. So we should have signage on the cars that make it pretty clear that that's the vehicle that will be associated with the shuttle service. Excuse me. Additionally, people will always be able to identify the vehicle type, the color, as well as the license plate in the app. They're going to have visibility into, you know, how the vehicle's arriving, the time, but then also exactly what the car is, the driver, etc. So they'll have a lot of insight into what to look out for, in addition to the workage that exists.
Great, thank you. So in terms of the presentations at your office or your plant, there's no cost for this service. We would come out there free of charge to the business. Have you initiated this type of program to Moraine Community College or Daly College? I'm sure it'd benefit students too. No, we haven't. This program specifically focused on Bedford Park, but I think the lessons learned will certainly apply to colleges and other campus contexts as well. Great. I think that gets to the questions that were submitted through the chat box. Are there any that anyone would like me to go back and revisit or provide more detail? Feel free to just unmute yourself and speak up as well if that would be easier.
I'd love to address the question earlier as well about the stops and if there would be signs or anything like that. I just like to make clear that we'll stop directly at the public transit stops, but then for the different pickups and drop-offs, people will have what we note as, you know, virtual bus stops. So it's not exactly going to be in the same location every time, but there's thousands of pickup and drop-off locations. And if there are any excuse me, inconsistencies or, you know, issues that are super inconvenient for folks, we can always adjust those spots so that they'll be pretty efficient that way. That's helpful.
Thank you. So I'll just go ahead and summarize a few things. I know we were just jumping through a lot of questions, but again, the program is a one-year pilot, and we're really excited to not just be studying or piloting a solution, but to be providing a service that really benefits Bedford Park employers and employees. We hope that this makes it easier for Bedford Park businesses to attract and retain their staff. We heard throughout our planning that was a key challenge, especially the late night hours or second and third shift. So we hope that this provides options for those workers. And we're excited to be working with MoveIt and VIA to be providing these services. And again, this is a pilot, so we're going to be learning and adjusting as we collect more data and as we get feedback from employers and employees. So we ask in advance for your patience, but already I could see that there's a great need for this program, and we're already getting great feedback through this webinar that we can use to improve the program moving forward. It looks like there were a few more questions. Are there any inclement weather contingencies in place? So I guess the question is, if road conditions are bad, perhaps would services be canceled on those days? That would ultimately come down to Uber's and Via's operating policies. We hope that this makes it easier for people to commute and connect from transit to their workplace during inclement weather. But I can't speak to what conditions would cause Uber or Via to cease service for that day. Maybe Annabelle.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have?
Just to echo what Curtis said, we hope and know that this service will make things more convenient. So of course, in the case of inclement weather, I'm sure that our drivers and the vehicles would be prepared to handle that. Of course, if there's a really crazy storm and everything's shut down, we'd probably address that as it comes. But I don't foresee any situation where the service would be shut down in irregular service. I think you may be muted, Curtis, a bit. Or I can't hear you. Can everyone else hear him? No?
Okay. I was just saying we've been fortunate to have a mild winter, knock on wood, but the weather is coming, so.
Not over yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, I think that addresses the questions that we've received. We will be sending out a follow-up email to everyone who participated. We'll send this presentation and the recording. And for those who had submitted their emails, well, actually, when we send out that follow-up, feel free to respond to that. We'll include the info at Connect2Work, and from there we could set up distribution of additional flyers. And if you would like to do kind of a one-on-one or a pop-up event of some kind to promote this event to your employees, that is something we'd be happy to accommodate. Oh, this one last thing is regarding COVID safety. So the Uber rides are individual. So Uber has, for the time being, stopped offering their shared rides, and then Via also, for the free shuttle, is implementing COVID safety measures, and information on those measures is available at the connect2work.us website. Okay. Well, thanks everyone again for your participation today, and we look forward to continuing to operate this pilot and get more people enrolled. And please, if you have any ideas about how to get the word out to your employees, we're all ears, and we want to really engage as many people as possible. So thank you for your time, and we're going to wrap up the webinar. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Be safe, everyone.